Hello, how you doing? James here. Hold on, let me get my tablet situated. But hope you're having a good evening, good weekend, good week. I'm doing fine myself. Well, we're gonna start back up with a person I did in a while, but other people have been doing videos on this guy. And the fact is, he's being talked about as we speak, and that's Dr. Umar Johnson. So let's see what these commentators got to say.
And I built one home on it, making over 6 figures on building one single family home. Hi everybody, my name is
Look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now, because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to be talking to you about right now, ladies and gentlemen, is about Nurse Umar Johnson. Yeah, you heard me. I said nurse. Well, in other words, it's Dr. Umar Johnson. This man has been lying since 2010, I believe. For 10 years, he's been telling the black community that he's going to develop or build and renovate a school for black people. For 10 years, he's been taking donations. He has been taking at least a couple, $2, $3, $4 million. And this school still has not been built. And he always had an excuse. He got a new excuse saying he won't be ready until next year now. Meanwhile, you're going to keep giving this sucker some money. Let's get into this. What I'm going to show you is a couple people who actually have gone to this school to show you what the school actually looks like after 10 years. Let's get to it, man. I cannot stand a fraud. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
Stated that the school was renovated and completed. I'm on foot, as you can see. I'm in the hood. It has not been renovated. I'm gonna get up here and give you all a tour of FDMG. Nothing's been done here. Look at the door.
I want you to take a look at this school. I believe this is a school that he says is going to be in Delaware, I believe. It looks unkept. The lawn is bad. It looks like it has had no work. Like no one has been working on this thing. Where has the money went, Umar? Where is the money? Are you spending it on women? Because this man has been caught several times with different women. He got baby mamas, but he always kicked black men. He always demonized and condemned black men. He always say it's the black man's fault if a woman behaves like this or if she acts like this. He says it's the black man's fault that a woman cannot follow a black man. He talks bad about black men who chooses to be in interracial relationships. Umar Johnson ain't nothing more but a conniving bigot who also plays both sides. He caters and panders to the women because the women are the biggest contributors to his financial well-being. Where the money at? He done raised over $2 or $3, $4 million. Where's the money at? We see you messing around with Suki Hana. We see you messing around with other women. But you always say it's a bunch of accusations and it's not true. People have taken pictures of you with snow bunnies, as you like to call white women, acting all flirtatious, and I got a video of that as well. Where is the money at? Let's keep going.
You said the sprinkler system was taken care of, right? You said the sprinkler system was done. That's the sprinkler door. None of the stickers, nothing. Let's walk on around here. See, this is my hood. I'm not worried about him coming out here to checking me. This is my hood. But this is a dangerous place. These are the same windows. Remember he crying about the windows? Look like the crackheads try to get in. I don't know if you can see spider webs in those windows. Those are the same windows that was here when it was Maurice Moyer Academy. Crackheads getting in there, look like same shit. It's all boarded up. He's done nothing. Dirty school, man. He hasn't done anything out here. He doesn't have the money to do it. He doesn't have the know-how to do it. And he doesn't accept the help to get this done. Everything's still the same. Warrior Academy. But he hasn't done anything out here, man. Don't y'all people keep sending him y'all money, wasting y'all money. Nothing's been done. He told you the school renovations was done 2 months ago in August. Those renovations have not been done. Nobody's been out here working on these buildings. He's lying to you.
Exactly. This man has been lying for a long time. See, Umar is a two-bit pimp, the worst kind, not the better kind. What do I mean by that? He's the type of pimp that will lie to a woman to get her to give him their money. A good pimp don't have to lie. He tells the woman exactly what it is he wants and what he's trying to accomplish, and she willingly gives him the money. That's the better kind pimp. He's a no good for nothing snake. He's been begging women for money. He's been condemning men. He's been talking bad about LeBron James when he tried to put some money down into a charter school or whatever. He always got an answer for something. And it's always the black man's fault for the black community being tore up. You're listening to a hypocrite. He is a whoremonger. He is a thief. He is a liar. He is a manipulator. Now, on the Jeremy Hill Show, I don't do none of that politically correct stuff on my show. Now, some of you may say you shouldn't kick a black man when he's down. In this case, you should. Why? Because he always demonizes black men. He blames black men for everything. If you don't agree with him, you are the devil. You're working with the white power structure. If you decide that you don't want to put up with a mustard-backed heifer, that you don't want to deal with her mouth and her shenanigans, then it's your fault that she's not following you. It's your fault that she's not submitting to you. So yeah, he getting kicked tonight. Now I got another one to show you. Hold on for a second as I put on your screen. 1 second, because I'm not the only one. This man don't have all this shit he be talking about, all these baby mamas, all this money he been taking for a decade. I believe since 2010. And he gonna push it further than that. Now he says the school will have to be open next year. It's supposed to be open this year. But guess what? In between now and next year, you know what he needs? More money from you. Y'all better wake up.
They won't.
Kevin Samuels talked about him. I'm gonna play him now.
They won't.
You mean Dr. Umar Johnson, the man who has 2 children by 2 different women he never married? Dr. Umar Johnson, the guy that for the last 10 years has not built brick one of a school he's collected money from. Hold on, ma'am. Dr. Umar Johnson, the man who calls you queen, mother, goddess, and all this other kind of stuff. And again, for those who are keeping score, this is another woman who comes on and says, talk to us more like Umar. The Prince of Pan-African. Big Papa's in the house. Run my donations. I mean, shout out to Umar. I got no problem with the dude, but I think it's funny y'all keep coming over here asking everybody to talk like Umar. Queen Mother God, Cocoa Butter, and Sea Moss Gold and shit.
You're someone who cares about building wealth faster, cash flow, passive income, things like that. And you're someone...
Sea Moss Gold and shit. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Thing about Umar, he's just women want you to talk to them like Umar because he kisses women's asses. And then he fucks them. That's what he does. How can a man sit back and judge another black man on anything when he got baby mamas? Man, you have the same, how can I say this? You have the same qualifications that a Pookie would have. Because Pookie make baby mamas and don't marry them. Pookie lie to people to get money. Pookie would tell you not to do this, but then go behind your back and do it. That's That's all that Nurse Umar Johnson is. A hypocrite, punk ass dude. Fuck him. I got another one to show you. Hold on. I don't like people like that because all he do, he's a culture vulture. He go all this Pan-African shit or Pan-American, what the hell it is. He quote all that stuff to you to get you to side with him while he robs you blind, making you a whole bunch of promises. He no different than these politicians. I promise to do this for you if you vote for me. I promise to do this for you, sister, if you give me the money. Oh, give me the money. Oh, step in the Slim Jim. Come on, man. Now, let's go to him being flirtatious with a white woman. You know, as he called a snow bunny. I'm on your ass, Omar.
If I sleep with a white girl, I promise you it'll be on Twitter, Instagram. I'm not saying that will.
Look, there it is. Now I want you to notice. Now you tell me
that's the
if it doesn't
girl.
come across as if he's overly excited to be around this quote unquote snow bunny. Because you know when he on Twitter, when he's on any other social media site, or when he's being interviewed by podcasters, he's so black power and all this other stuff like that. It would make you think that if he was in the presence of a white person, he would be cold, he would be stoic, he would be rude, he would be standoffish. Now check out how he is around one. Right here.
Remember he was in the mall. I'm not saying that was going on,
He said when I was in the mall.
remember there was
Cherry Hill Snow Bunny schedule. Do you know what happened?
He's grinning from ear to ear. Oh, giggly ass motherfucker.
Do you know what happened, bro? Somebody tried to hack my iPhone. So you know Apple shuts it down. I called downtown Philly Apple store. They said we ain't got no appointments. We can put you in Cherry Hill. You know Cherry Hill right over the bridge from Philly. I go to the Apple store in Cherry Hill. The line is all the way down to the hallway. They said we gonna be a couple hours. I said what the hell I'm gonna do for a couple hours with no phone? I went to buy some suits because I needed some suits. I go back and pick up my phone. I'm leaving the mall. There's a vendor booth in the middle of the mall. And guess
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how you know this man is lying. Okay, this is how you know you're dealing with someone who's lying. When they have the entire story memorized detail by detail. Okay, when a person gives such an explanation like this, where they can pretty much tell you, I did this at 2 o'clock, I did this at 2:05, I did this at 2:30, I was around the corner around here, I did this, I went up the stairs, I did all this shit. That is something that has been thought out. That is an answer that has been thought out just in case he gets questioned. Okay? This is a liar. This man has been lying to y'all for over a decade, and some of you still gonna believe in this man. This man is lying, and this is one of those thought out lies. He's trying to explain what happened to him in detail. Most people don't memorize shit like that. Did you do this? I remember part of it. They remember part of some shit. They don't remember a butterfly flew by. It was cold outside, or I dropped a pencil and shit. So they don't remember every intricate detail. This man is fucking lying. Let's keep going.
that's what they sell. Incense. I do incense. Oils. I do oils. Herbal soap. I do herbal soap. Healing crystals. I do healing crystals. I thought it was a black one. I thought it was a black woman booth. Then all of a sudden, Snow Bunny come around. And she says, no, because I like what I saw. I'm going to buy something. She had them incense was good as shit. I'm going to buy these incense. So then while she's ringing me up and while she's telling me what she got for sale, black people come by. They taking pictures. Dr. Umar can have a picture. But this white girl looking at me like, are you an athlete? Nah. Are you an entertainer? Nah. Who are these people stopping to ask you, who are you? I said, I'm Dr. Umar. I'm a psychologist. He said, that's it?
Did you know paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is the...
I said, I'm Dr. Umar. I'm a psychologist. He said, that's it?
And y'all can believe that? Y'all can believe that bullshit if you want to. That's nothing but game and lies, man. I'm telling you, he a snake, bro. He is a snake. Now, this is my last video of another person who have went to this school that he's been working on for over a decade. These are people in that community that making these videos, who is actually there looking at the schools and looking at the progress he's supposed to be making on the school. Because he's an academic. He's an educated dumbass. Oh, I'm on your ass today, man. I know there's gonna be somebody saying some stupid shit like, oh, excuse me real quick. There's gonna be somebody say
Some stupid shit. Oh, you can't talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. That's my man. He's the king of the jungle. I'm a musty back heifer, and he always put me on a pedestal. See, the problem with you, Mr. Hill, you need to be more like Umar Johnson. You need to lick my feet and do everything I tell you to do. It's your fault that the community is messed up. How do I know? Because Umar Johnson told me. And you don't know this, but secretly, I give him donations and I eat his booty. Because that's what musty back helpers do.
excuse me, I apologize for that. Now, let me get into this video right quick.
Yo, Dr. Umar, the one that be on, it's raining, the one that be on TikTok and all that stuff, Black Children Matter. Here go his school that he opened in, well, they been in school. But it's boring up. We talking about Black Children Matter. He got his picture up here. It's supposed to open up in 2024. He don't help nobody. They ain't doing nothing but hurting people and getting them out the community. This is what he talking about. But he got his picture up there. Black Children Matter. Well, where you at? Oh, I'm Dr. Umar. If you're not supporting the community, don't nobody want you here. But y'all see how he got the picture looking. Looks spectacular. Don't it? But you seen that shit boarded up. Yo. It's raining, but if I go around the corner and y'all see what it look like, y'all gonna be like, really, Dr. Umar, yo, Umar, holla at your girl. You feel me? Add me, inbox me on how you can really help the community instead of acting like you helping or you want to do something in Delaware and you ain't doing nothing. Because a block over there, my people are being slaughtered. I'm gonna get out the car just so y'all can see it. Matter of fact, damn, it's raining. And I really shouldn't be. Look at this shit.
Only thing this man apparently has done on the outside is put a picture of himself, a memorial, whatever it's called, a mural, whatever, however you say that. You got a picture of him on the outside of the school. That's where all your donations went to that ugly ass picture.
Look at the children. Look at this shit. Dr. Umar. Looks amazing, don't it? Oh, gosh. Don't let me go fuck. Don't even. Don't even. It's no need. It's no fucking need, homeboy. Wow.
Look at this shit. That's where your money going. So someone can draw badly of him on one knee saying Black Children Matter. Come on, man. Come on, man. Seriously? Y'all still believe women? Let me ask you, the women, because when he have these little conventions and get-togethers and stuff, majority of the time it's only women there. Ain't no man there. It's mostly women. He ain't no different than those no good for nothing, trifling ass, money hungry, fake ass preachers who preach whatever works to get him money to the women. Because majority of the time in churches, it's mostly women there more than men, right? So if you're a fake preacher not really called by God, you're going to tell them exactly what they want to hear so they can keep giving you tithes and offering and pussy. And that's what's going on with him, Mr. Nurse Umar. Nurse Umar. He's doing the same thing. This is a fraudulent man.
Oh, really? Okay, let's look at your school. Got nice and boarded up. Yeah. Yeah, looks great, Umar. Excuse me.
Look how ran down this place look, man. You got boarded up windows. The other guy said there's spider webs in the window. If there's spider webs in the window, that means the windows have not been opening or closing. That means no one doing no work on that motherfucker. Look at it. Look at how it looks. 10 years of receiving over $2 or $3 million. You couldn't throw some fresh paint on that mug. Look at that. It looks ran down. A lot of y'all done fell for the okie doke. Boy, y'all been pimped like a motherfucker. I keep telling you, you're always in the pimp game. You don't think you are? Most definitely you are. Someone's always trying to pimp somebody. Somebody's always trying to get some money out of somebody. And this man have been coming on different shows every damn week and shit, lying and talking bad about black men, talking bad about white people too. Talking bad about black men who date anyone, anything else other than black. You can be black, dating a Puerto Rican. You can be dating an Asian person. He ain't gonna like that. He gonna talk bad about you, and then he gonna take a dump all over the black men in the black community. Hey, it works. This pandering shit that he's doing works. Where the money at, Omar? Where all that money at, man? That's what y'all need to be asking. Where the paper trail? Y'all need to be asking this man, what has he done with the millions of dollars that he has raised in the past decade? Ain't nobody asking him that. Y'all believe every damn thing he say. Y'all believe every excuse. Or, well, the white man won't let me open the doors. Oh, it's the white power structure. Or he telling you that shit while he keep getting that black dollar. Actions speak louder than words. That's a two-bit hustler, man.
Excuse me.
Okay, drink.
You should have posted this picture up. This would have been better. Instead of you putting a fake picture. What it used to be when they used to have it open. Yeah. Yep. It's raining, y'all. I'm about to get out this rain. But alright. Dr. Umar, this is not family. You know, I just want to see how you can really help them. Yeah.
Big ass nurse Umar. Oh yeah, I had to talk about it. You know I had to talk about it. You know I had to.
Don't you talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. I'ma bring all the Pookie kids to his school. I'ma bring all Ray Rays and Nook Nook. You know, we all fuck each other, so I'ma bring them all over there. Come on, mustard back heifer. You don't understand, Mr. Umar.
Not Nook Nook.
Damn shame. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. What's your thoughts on this? I'm curious.
I'm still a kinsman because I come through the blood of his first cousin.
Unfortunately, I'm an internet person. Out of all the social media platforms that exist, there's only one my old ass spends any amount of time on: Instagram. While it's definitely one of the most artificial since everything is super curated, it's also the least chaotic due to its streamlined structure. Despite that, I still haven't been able to avoid the prince of Pan-Africanism, the patron saint of black memes, and literal school psychologist, Dt Umar Johnson.
I love all black people. All black people. Sexually confused, whatever your situation is, I love black people.
For those who don't know the name and haven't seen his face, Dr. Umar is a mainstay of black Twitter and every other social media platform. Besides the fact that he's on those platforms himself, memes featuring his more controversial views and video clips are super popular too. He's a mix between a legitimately educated middle-aged man and what black people refer to as a hotep, with a bass-heavy voice and very clear diction that lends itself well to public speaking. That sounds familiar, minus the hotep part.
King Kongalicious. The queens, to the queens, I'm King Kongalicious.
Why are we talking about him at all? That answer lies in his impact on those of us with the least resources and education. He's got people packed into random stores off his social media hype alone.
If you have a grandmother, a grandfather, somebody that was a strong warrior, a strong spirit, and you want to...
Let's dive deep into his background, his ideology, the falsehoods he spreads under the guise of black empowerment, this fake polygamous wedding, and the six-figure fundraising scheme masquerading as a construction project for his school for black boys. Play those last four words again.
For black boys.
I hate that we have to cover this man, but it needed to happen.
Reject the notion that we came from monkeys.
With the painting, you know who you are. I will call your names out.
Hit the cash app, $FDG. Hit the cash app. Mariah Carey poster was on my wall.
Facts.
Well, y'all got, I said, how did they get Mariah?
That's what everybody did.
Let me set the record straight out the gate. First, there's no way we can address everything this man has ever said. It would take hours. We're focusing on the most crucial aspects of his public persona. Two, there's things about Dr. Umar that I will criticize, and things I won't. We can fall victim to not knowing where to draw that line on commentary channels sometimes, reaching too far into personal attacks in an effort to stay popping on social media. You know what ain't popping though? Slipping on cybersecurity. I couldn't say that with a straight face. To regular viewers, I'm sure I sound like a broken record by now. That's a good thing. I haven't had a reason to doubt Aura's performance, ever. And this expose is brought to you thanks to their sponsorship. When I logged into my Aura account to check on the latest updates, I saw this critical alert up top. Luckily, this was a scheduled payment I made, so I could resolve it. It confirms that's been resolved, and I'm off to the next task. I see they help recover my info from another data broker. But right now, I'm most interested in my updated credit score. Let's check that out. It's really solid, and not only do they give me a guide to gauge where I am in relation to industry standard ratings, they also provide the option to track my monthly score changes for a visual representation of my credit health, freeze credit, get a full report, and even get scores from the other two major bureaus. I used to have to hunt through multiple submenus and spend way too much of my time to find all this, so that's crazy convenient. Circling back to data brokers, this list shows how many times Aura has submitted removal requests when I didn't even know it was happening. Never underestimate 24/7 protection. If you're trying to test it out, hit my link, aura.com/CamJames, to support the channel and get a 2-week free trial ASAP. Alright, last ground rule, we'll be calling him Dr. Umar or Johnson moving forward, since he still has those handles attached to his official social media pages. This is confusing. Don't at me. Before I dive into what our research dug up, let's see what the man has to say for himself. I'm trying my best to be fair about this, but if I see something suspect, I'll call it out on the spot. Johnson calls himself a paternal kinsman to the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass.
Never claimed to be a descendant of Frederick Douglass, nor do I have to be. I'm a descendant of Frederick Douglass's first cousin, a gentleman by the name of Stephen Henry Bailey.
The internet is a beautiful thing. I hate to do this to you, my guy, but I found this video of you early on in your career promoting a speaking engagement in New York. And in this video, you claim you're Douglass's grandnephew. So are you descended from his first cousin, or are you his grandnephew? Both of those can't be true.
Even when it's a pro and a con, they're both conning us.
Yes.
Douglass's family has very clearly shut this down. And even though Johnson has claimed he wasn't saying he was descended from Douglass, what the hell does he think paternal kinsman means?
I am a blood relative of Frederick Douglass. We have a family reunion every 2 years. I have more videos on YouTube than any other scholar. I speak around the world more than any other scholar. Show me where I've ever said I was a descendant. I've only claimed one thing, kinsman.
The delete button would fix this really quickly, I promise. Strike one. I didn't know who Bishop Wayman is, but after some basic research, it's not really possible to disprove that one. He leads a college tour called Unapologetically African for 11 through 17-year-old black children. Calls himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism, as I mentioned before, in third person. Strike two. Anybody calling themselves a prince of anything in the third person is a walking red flag. That's cult leadership. He says he holds free educational and mental health consultations for 2 hours on Tuesday mornings. Meanwhile, he's talking non-stop about charging per child on his Twitter. Free work is free work, though. We'll leave that one alone for now. The bio goes on to brag about how many rappers have mentioned him and how many paintings he's inspired. More cult leaders. Enlarging your persona through unprovable claims, comparing yourself to other scholars, is wild for an official bio. Strike 3. He claims his book, Psychoacademic Holocaust, The Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys, is the first book written by an African-American male school psychologist to black parents, with specific strategies on how to fight back against special education and ADHD misdiagnoses. Yeah, we're going to come back to that one. I have not read the book, so I have no verdict, but his opinions on these misdiagnoses are questionable, to put it very gently. It's not all bad, though. There's a couple of things I was glad to see here. He says he's the founder and president of the National Independent Black Parent Association, or NIBPA, organized to fight against educational and academic racism. Dope. I'm also all for the intention behind the National Independent Black Ex-Offender Association, or NIBIA, which he dubbed the New Underground Railroad. The goal with this group is to advocate for rights on behalf of previously incarcerated black women, men, and children. Again, dope. Prisoners are subject to legalized slavery in America thanks to the 13th Amendment, so this seems like a step in the right direction if he can get it off the ground. We're not here to on people's genuinely beneficial ideas. The bio wraps up with a mention of his Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School for African Boys, which we'll absolutely cover later. That was a lot already, and we haven't even made it off the About Me page yet. This is where our research steps in.
If money buy you love, then love's not enough. Tell me why you on your knees crying.
This man has changed his name twice. Allegedly, Jermaine Shoemake from North Philly switched it up and became Umar Rashad bin Abdullah Johnson, then most recently updated his name to Umar Ifatunde.
Ifatunde Oguntade.
Apologies, Ifatunde Oguntade.
Because I'm destined to be a priest and I'm a son of Ogun.
He claims Ifatunde came from his 2020 visit to an African village called Oyotunji, where he claims that he got blessed by a chief named Olatan. I didn't mention which African country this village is located in for a reason. It's not in Africa at all. It's in South Carolina. Seabrook, to be specific. Apparently it has great reviews. I learn something new every time I do one of these. On top of being a crown priest of an African-American village, Dr. Johnson is, in fact, a doctor. National Student Clearinghouse confirms that he graduated from Millersville University with a bachelor's. He then received his MBA and doctorate degrees from the Philadelphia School of Osteopathic Medicine in 2009 and 2012, respectively. Naomi dug up the transcript thanks to columnist Michael Harriot, who accused Johnson of being a charlatan in one article on The Root, then printed a retraction a week later when he got the documentation himself. So, we can put that question to rest. Since we know that at least one part of his identity holds up, we should take a closer look into what it takes to become a PsyD, not PhD, in clinical psychology, so we have something to reference. By all accounts, that is tough. According to psychology.org, the clinical psych degree program is hard work that requires years of research, time spent as an understudy of a licensed psychologist, and a large financial investment. I got student loans, they got student loans. Let us know what your student loan balance is looking like in the comments. Party. Northwestern University's psychology site agrees. It's tough just getting accepted into these schools in the first place. They claim there could be as many as 300 applications for 8 positions, and 10 to 15 need to be accepted for those 8 spots, since they might dip out to another school or pursue something else. Your GPA and score on the GRE, the Graduate Record Examination, need to be competitive, and even better than competitive if you want a really good chance of acceptance. Back to the doctor. We've established that his name is up for debate, but his medical credentials are at least partially earned. There's no way for us to verify whether he completed his required licensure as a psychologist. Yes, there is. This extremely helpful 2018 article in HuffPost by Dwayne Wong features a document submitted by a close associate of Johnson's, Ann McMillian. How do I know they're close? She's tagged on his Facebook post and is in this video touring his school, which we'll definitely be coming back to. The document she sent to the Philadelphia State Board of Education provides detailed answers ahead of his trial for misrepresenting himself as a licensed psychologist. There's a lot of legal code and specific details here, and I'll be providing a link in the description. The short version is that Dr. Umar never claimed to be licensed in the states he operates in, and has the legal right to call himself a school psychologist. since he was exempted from needing a license by the Philadelphia Board of Psychology Licensure Office. He also has a bunch of certifications that clear him against those charges, according to McMillian. In Dr. Umar's own words, I've been ordered to stand trial in Harrisburg, PA, before the Board of Psychology to be stripped of my school psychology credentials as a result of constant complaints from some members of my race, pleading to the white man via phone and mail to bring an end to my profession. On IG, he said this: the same questions over and over again on every radio show, countless social network jokes, and campaigns to diminish the credibility of the one man black parents can count on to assist for free with saving their children from the mental health and miseducation systems. This is the thanks I get for helping to save a generation of black boys. We mentioned earlier that he offers free counseling for 2 hours a week, while charging every parent the rest of the week. So I'm not sure that's the hill he wants to stand on. Free work is always a good thing, but most of his behavior is intensely profit-seeking. With all the call-outs about coons running to snitch on him to white people, this is probably a great time to talk about his racial philosophy. Johnson calls himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism, with a K. Let me define it before explaining that unusual spelling. Hold tight. Britannica holds us down with a solid definition. In its narrowest political manifestation, Pan-Africanists envision a unified African nation, where all people of the African diaspora can live. It's a sentiment that people of African descent have a great deal in common, a fact that deserves notice and even celebration. My guy stopped by the Yada the Mean Godcast, fantastic name, hosted by Lord Jamar, another controversial black intellectual and rapper Rod Digger in 2021 to break it down further.
I always say I was a Pan-Africanist before I knew what Pan-Africanism was, because the red, black, and green flag just always naturally vibrated with me.
Put a pin in that. Let's keep going.
Nothing supersedes your racial family identity.
This is his first principle of Pan-Africanism. Let's say, for sake of example, I identify as a superhero. In this interpretation, I would never be a superhero who identifies as part of the African family. I'd be African first, and a superhero after. He says there's 4 principles, with Garveyism being the highest. He doesn't elaborate on the rest of them here. He goes on to explain what I see as the origin of his tirades against the white man, using archaeological artifacts as a basis for why Africans were the first people on Earth, thereby making them superior.
Because anything sounds good when it's in theory. Anything sounds good when it's in philosophy. There is no artifact of a man or woman, modern man or woman, that is older than any of the artifacts found on the mother continent.
He went on to say Pan-Africanists don't follow European science to come to their conclusions. They follow African sciences. His final claim was that African scientists, such as Dr. Johann Haile Selassie, discovered human remains older than the world's most famous human ancestor, Lucy. She got a whole movie. I dug into that one myself, and not only is that a real Ethiopian paleoanthropologist, he did discover a 3.8 million year old cranium in February of 2016. At least part of his African artifacts argument seems to check out. As far as we currently know, the oldest humans were from Africa. Let's circle back to the K in Africa. This article in North Carolina State University's African American student newspaper, The Nubian Message, helps shed some light on that. According to staff writer Terry Moore, most traditional languages on the African continent don't use a K the way we do, and Europeans polluted our languages. More specifically, she claims no languages in Europe outside of Dutch and German use the hard C sound, and that the use of a K unifies their people after being dispersed across the world. Verifying that is a stretch, but at least we know that it's more than a stylistic choice on Dr. Umar's part. He sees himself as helping to unify our ignorant asses, spelling Africa with a C. Just for the record, we're establishing a pattern here. He changed his name based on the African village in South Carolina, and spells Africa with a K based on a language he doesn't speak, from a continent he was not born on. Y'all still following? We're only like halfway through. Stay hydrated. We're going to take a history break for a second to talk about his philosophy of African unity and try to reconcile it with how he frames the white man. He mentioned Garveyism earlier, and we need to establish who Garvey was to better understand how Johnson's mind works.
I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class.
Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican black nationalist who was charismatic as hell and sparked the first black nationalist movement in America. Harlem, New York, to be specific. To make a very long story short, Garvey founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and couldn't get enough traction in Jamaica, so he bounced to Harlem and took over. By 1919, my dog claimed 200K members, and at one point in 1920, he spoke at an event with 25 international delegates, then ended that joint by marching 50,000 people down the streets. So far, this sounds fantastically disruptive, but there was a more controversial side to Garvey's movement. He advocated for racial purity and separatism, to the point where he met with the Ku Klux Klan. Y'all trying to send us back to Africa? I'm trying to build a new Africa. We good. He rubbed the NAACP and W.E.B. Du Bois the wrong way when he basically called them soft for trying to assimilate with white people. Then announced the founding of the Empire of Africa, with himself residing as provisional president. Garvey got indicted in 1923 for fraud and mishandling funds to build a black steamship, then got pardoned and deported by President Calvin Coolidge.
My mother bought all of my sneakers for school and for play right next door to the UNIA.
I think we all need a break from the clips at this point. Hopefully y'all saw why I needed to show those. Look, the man is a black nationalist. The labels might shift, but the intent remains the same. He mirrors Marcus Garvey's philosophy at every turn and in every interview, while ignoring the fact that he's starting to reflect Garvey's alleged fraudulent business practices and flamboyant persona too. I'm about to explain how. His nationalist beliefs are not for me to criticize. It's a free country. His intentions for the next generation of children and some of his claims about underrepresented groups, though, that's fair game. We had to cover his fake ties to Frederick Douglass and his worship of Marcus Garvey before the school. And hopefully, it's obvious why we did that. Both of these men's names have been slapped together to represent a school that's been in progress since 2014. It kicked off when Dr. Umar approached the board at St. Paul's College in Virginia to reopen the school after the HBCU closed in 2013. Money talks for school boards, so they gave him a couple months to put up $5 million. He wasn't able to swing it, and that effort fell through. Raising money is hard, no matter what it's for. We're not mocking Johnson for not getting that money raised in time, or for his broad ambition to open a school. The criticism I have for him personally comes down to the lack of transparency with regard to use of the funds he's raised since then. In 2015, he raised $125K via PayPal and got it frozen since he wasn't registered as a 501c3 nonprofit, then reportedly stacked $400K via GoFundMe. That campaign was suspended, so those funds were almost definitely returned to donors in full. He's told people that he got his nonprofit registration handled, but we haven't found anything to back that up yet. He's claimed that he's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. His official site gives us this gem laying out the donation tiers, very reminiscent of every scam we've seen before, all the way down to the names of the levels and the lack of transparency. Why is it always precious metals? What does all donations will be honored mean? How much money has this brought in, fam? I'm well aware that it takes a hell of a lot of resources and funding to get a school open. And since he's posted an official opening date of September 3rd, 2024, I'm not jumping to a final conclusion about this just yet.
This is back around 2005. So it should be a no-brainer for you all to conceptualize, to understand, understand, and overstand why Dr. Umar Johnson made the obvious leap. A principal can prevent problems. A therapist comes in after to reverse problems. Y'all let me know what y'all think. One by one, quick little testimonial.
I have no words to say. My heart is really full.
That's a wonderful vibration, great energy. Ancestral presence, definitely.
Also very proud. Second time, so it feels even more spiritual, more grounded, more sure.
Happy to be here, and I'm going to keep supporting this brother, and I'm looking for you all to support this brother, because the doc's for real.
It's been a long time. I told you it was coming. It's here. It's in your hands.
enjoying yourself.
Hey, remember when I said Ann McMillian sent in a document on Umar's behalf and that they were really close? Yeah, y'all about to find out exactly how close.
For all of you haters and you fake supporters, you have defamed this man. You have called him everything out the book. You didn't believe that he was going to get to school, and he hasn't. It's for our children. Stop with the rhetoric. Stop with the lies. You know who you are. I will call your names out.
Time will tell if the school happens. There's one more thing about it that needs attention, though. What the hell is he going to be teaching these kids? He'll be teaching them to be men, whatever that means. Incoming direct quote. Unapologetic alpha males, Garvey type, the Malcolm type, the Martin type, uncompromising black men, because we need that, because we're losing that. Alpha males are not a real thing, especially in wolf packs. Garvey abused his community's trust and committed fraud with the funds of supporters. Martin preached about compromise often alongside his strong stances. And Malcolm compromised his entire worldview after finding out about the existence of white Muslims. The website for the school is surprisingly slick and puts the donations up front and center with a pop-up asking you for more shortly after you touch down. The school isn't even open, and every inch of this is a sales pitch. If it was hypothetical, I wouldn't care all that much. This is taking enrollment applications, though. There's a few more things that Dr. Umar is simply wrong about, straight up. For example, just about everything he said publicly about ADHD. He went on News 1 radio with Roland Martin, another controversial black figure. These people just interview each other all day, if you haven't noticed by now, and said ADHD as a diagnosis came to us in 1980. Then it was called ADD, Attention Deficit Disorder. In 1987, the H for hyperactivity was added. So what's he getting at? His primary point is that the major pharmaceutical companies conspired to create these diagnoses, ADD and ADHD specifically, in order to sell more medicine to the population at large. False. PolitiFact states children were being prescribed a stimulant to treat attention disorders even before the term attention deficit disorder, or ADD, was coined in 1980. The New York Times ran an article in 1970 saying 5 to 10% of children in the Nebraska elementary school system were taking some kind of medication for their hyperactivity. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM, is the American Psychiatric Association's handbook that's used by medical professionals for diagnoses. It says attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is real. People diagnosed with ADHD show a persistent pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity, impulsivity that interferes with functioning or development, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I might not be a doctor myself.
I make it a point, when at all possible, to not respond to individuals whose intellectual competence I consider to be far below my own.
But I think I'm leaning towards the CDC and APA's professional guidelines over unsubstantiated claims from someone who calls himself a prince. What else did he claim? 85% of boys diagnosed with ADHD don't have their father in their life.
Our boys don't need drugs, they need love, they don't need the doctor, they need their daddy. We don't have an attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. What we have is an ain't no daddy at home disorder.
This is unproven. As far as we can tell, this 85% mark has no basis in evidence. Lastly, this claim that black boys are overdiagnosed as compared to other kids has no proof. It's tough to claim he's lying when the statements are as wide as that, but scientists and psychologists in the linked article are fairly confident that he's full of shit. You be the judge. The script is getting long. We talked about a lot here. There were so many things to address. It was tough to take our foot off the gas. There's a lot more we could cover, such as his negative views on homosexuality and interracial marriage, his fake marriage to 2 women as a publicity stunt for his school.
To my 2 lovely queens, I thank the creator for the both of you.
The first public event of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy takes place in less than 48 hours right here from 11 until 8. Come one, come all. Register. If you hang around, you're going to see Dr. Umar get married. Not to 1 queen, but 2 queens. That's right. I'm getting married to 2 queens in a fashion show.
Hold up. Real quick, we are going to cover the homosexuality piece since it's pretty egregious. Dr. Umar claims homosexuality is a mental illness that requires treatment.
Sexually confused.
While many of his supporters out there are definitely shrugging their shoulders at that, anyone with more than 0 queer friends will tell you that's a lie. There's no factual or academic basis for anyone to claim someone else's sexual orientation is a mental illness. And it just serves as one more example of a toxic alpha male mentality poisoning the well.
But I will have 2 queens.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So is polygamy more realistic?
I think we have to understand that monogamy is not natural to alpha males.
Those fews lost him some speaking engagements here and there, but it's not like it'll stick. The man is not okay, and while we laugh at memes, he wants to indoctrinate a new generation of black children, and is leveraging his fame to sell tickets to every speaking appearance across the country. After going through all this info, checking out this money funnel of a website with the self-aggrandizing bio, and being forced to watch all these video clips, Naomi too, my takeaway is that he's not to be trusted with your money or your children. This is always how it starts, the promises, the lofty rhetoric. Dr. Umar has every telltale sign of a cult leader, including the charisma, intelligence, and consistent messaging required to bring people over to your cause. If you've been a supporter of his so far, or you were in the past, I'm not here to point fingers and mock you. Ask yourself, if it was your future on the line, would you trust this man to guide you? What about your child? I hope you come to the same conclusion, but if not, I still want to hear what y'all have to say. Y'all got the information now. Can't say I ain't tell you.
Well, he's still going across the country making speaking engagements. And there's a speak, Leonard Arnold is doing a video on right now. Some things that he said showing his personality and what he said things in the past. And when people take, they like, I guess they like his humor and his oral skills, but they don't really, some of these people who support Umar don't think about this stuff. They don't do no research and find out what's good for them. They just take his word for it. Some of them didn't do no background check, and they would have found this stuff out. But you see what the guy was saying, that even with the data and the research and all that, what he was saying didn't even prove it. But hey, there's gonna be some simple-minded people gonna still support him, keep going along with this fantasy, keep giving him money into next year. And after I showed you these 2 videos, along what he's been telling you, this guy been telling you, and this people gonna still support him, because some people with a cult effect had an effect on people. And that's basically what the guy said. He's telling the truth. So what can you say? And if people keep giving the money, you can't feel sorry for some people. And what's to say? And then the money that they already, you might as well chuck it up as a loss, because that school is not going to be open. Even he says so much work, you got to get the building short. It owes back taxes. This is what Leonard Arnold and other people are saying. But you got some folks will still fight and call people out their name. So you're contributing to whatever his habit is. He's giving you some information that when he shows up and tell about about your child, the data was right there. How many black people have they gone after hearing what he said, did their own research behind it? I wonder how many black people, but they just took his word and run with it, because the white man, not the condition itself. And then have it ever dawned on you why at the time he tell you his version why they suspended him and got him out of that school because he was telling some outdated information and he was probably misdiagnosed and doing things, and so he so called himself being rebellion and think that he's saving, and you don't know if the children, by taking them off or not having an alternative way other than the medication, it could have been more damage than good. So hey, if at this point, if people keep following them and they keep showing up, it's nothing you can do. Like he says, your money. But I can't see how. But if it's something when it concerning a child, and don't just go by somebody all that African liberalism stuff when they don't even live by the principle of what they do. There's no morality and there's no integrity in him. You see the narcissism in him. He don't listen. He don't know how to communicate with people. He's a controlled, manipulating person. You can tell by the way people, and he only answer questions. He won't answer the tough questions that are well thought out people. He knows what to say and how to manipulate. Then if you call him out, it will get under his skin. Then he start calling you names. But hey, it's on you. The ones who supporting them, and the ones that gonna continue to send money, and wake the heck up and see that it don't take almost from 2014 to practically 2025 to build a school. Think about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. But yeah, so hey, let them keep. If the people keep supporting the fool, let them keep supporting it. And hey, he's running with it, and like the other ones have done in the black community. You need to do your research. Get off your lazy butt and find out for yourself what he's saying is fact. And see what some psychiatrists can go by and confirm what he has said at his lecture. Take a video and show it to a real psychologist, psychiatrist, whether they're black or white, and ask them, what this man saying, is this true? Is the data there? Is any research and stuff on it? They'll tell you. But people got to get off their lazy butt and stop letting people tell you any old thing and you believe it just because their personality and their great oracle skills. But anyway, I thought I mentioned that, but yeah, he's critiquing him live now on some of the wildest things he has said on his personal time to people on his probably Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube channel. When the people are never going to learn. All right, then, take care, be blessed, and see you on the next video.